Welcome to Pellissippi State Community College. I'm Dr. Anthony Wise, the president. Thank you for trusting Pellissippi State with your college education. Your safety is a high priority for us here at Pellissippi State, and we are very fortunate to have a safe campus environment, and certainly we want to keep it that way. Part of maintaining a safe campus environment is promoting awareness among students of how to keep themselves and others safe. Please take a few moments to meet key members of the college community who are here to promote your safety.
First, let me welcome you to Pellissippi State. And when it comes to safety, we both play a critical part. We need to share information with you, and we're interested in your concerns and observations. So let me start that conversation by referring you to our campus website. On our website, you'll find two reports, the Annual Security Report and the Daily Crime Log. The Annual Security Report is a reporting of our more serious crimes. And on that report, you'll also find our safety programs, as well as our reporting procedures and key policy updates. Another report is the Daily Crime Log. The Daily Crime Log captures statistics over the previous 60 days, which details all the crimes on campus. While we have very few crimes on campus, we do have one that reoccurs, and that's larceny. What we'd like to do is remind you that if you have personal items, please keep them within your view. As I said before, safety is a conversation. We're interested in your comments, we're interested in your concerns. If you see something, say something. If it's a concern to you, it's a concern to us. You can reach our campus police officers at 865-694-6646.
At Pellissippi State, we believe that campus safety is everyone's responsibility. A few years ago, we adopted a slogan that's similar to other colleges and cities throughout the country: see something, say something. So if you see something that occurs on campus, please make sure that you're doing your part to be an active participant in our campus safety procedures. In order to be an active bystander, you'll have to fight against the bystander effect, which is a natural social phenomenon that occurs when people are in groups where people diffuse responsibility for intervention because they believe that someone else is going to step in. Sometimes you have to be the person to step in and accept that responsibility for yourself, and we encourage you to do so while you're at Pellissippi State if it's safe to do so. Bystander intervention methods fall into 4 different categories. We have first, direct, where you directly intervene into a situation. You go up to someone, you say something, you put yourself in between 2 people that might be involved in an altercation. That would be a direct intervention. 2, next we have delegate. A delegation might be where you have a couple of your friends, you see a situation that's not going so well, you group together to go confront the situation. Delegation might also be contacting the police or someone else that's in authority to respond to the situation and intervene. Third, we have to distract. And distract is just that. To cause a scene, to pull attention away from whatever's going on over here that might be harmful, put the attention somewhere else so that someone could have the opportunity to intervene and provide some assistance. And fourth is delay. In a delayed intervention method, you might witness something, you might see something, and then after the fact follow up with the individuals that were impacted, offer any assistance, let them know that you're there for them. Regardless of which manner you choose to intervene, please make sure that you're reporting that information back to us at Pellissippi State. We want to make sure that we are able to assist students that have been impacted by negative behavior.
The mission of our department is to provide a safe and secure environment for our faculty, staff, and students. And we accomplish that by being proactive. You'll notice our officers walking around the campus 24/7 here at the Hardin Valley campus and at our Strawberry Plains campus. We'll also see our officers during normal class hours at the other off-site campuses. Please feel free to talk to us. We want to get to know you. Our job is to be here for you, and what we're looking to do is provide that environment so you feel safe and secure here on campus. Some of the services we provide are lost and found. If you find you're missing an item, please check with us. We probably have it. We'll send you an email if we can identify you, so we encourage you to mark your items with some way that we can find you and send you an email. Also, we provide services in our parking lot with lockouts and also with jump starts. If you lock your keys in the car, we'll be glad to assist you. We can come out to you and let you in. Also, if you need a jump start, we can come out with a jump box and get you started. You can also text us from your mobile device with our text-a-tip. Dial 67283 and proceed your message with PSCC tips. Then we'll be able to send somebody to you to answer your concerns. As I said before, a safe campus is a cooperative effort. I encourage you to get to know our officers. If you see us walking around campus, which you will, I encourage you to get to know us. We want to get to know you, and we look forward to seeing you at graduation.
Sometimes, students experience issues off campus that affect their ability to be successful. Many of these issues are addressed through the Campus SAVE Act. Because of the Campus SAVE Act, Pellissippi State is promoting awareness around domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. We also provide students with tips on how to prevent these things from happening. We are fortunate to have services in the community like the Family Justice Center to help us meet these goals.
Here at the Family Justice Center, people can call in and can talk to someone over the phone, or they can actually stop in and talk with an advocate about safety planning. They can talk to law enforcement about their legal options of warrants or taking out orders of protection. We have Legal Aid of East Tennessee here who can provide free lawyers. We have Department of Children's Services here on staff. Domestic violence is actually more than just a fight between a husband and wife. It's forms of abuse that occur between people who are related by blood or marriage, people who are dating, or simply people living together, such as roommates. Well, the early forms usually is emotional abuse, and that could be criticizing, tearing down somebody's self-esteem. From there, it can go to the psychological. It's the mind games where someone's being threatened or simply being publicly humiliated. Then we have sexual abuse, that's being forced to have sex when you don't want to. Financial is where an abuser will actually buy things for the victim to try to make them feel obligated. And lastly, it's physical. And physical can start out very simple with breaking objects, punching holes in sheetrock, to finally it's a simple grab on the wrist, and it escalates to a push, a shove, and finally a hit. Of the three types of the basic warning signs of an abusive relationship, we first have extreme jealousy. And that's where someone is always watching to see who the person's talking to. Controlling behavior, they're constantly having someone call them as soon as they get into class or as soon as they get out of class or right before they go to work, get off from work, they're constantly tracking them. And lastly is isolation, where the abuser is cutting the victim off from help. It could be counselors at school, as people can actually give them resources. A scenario that could happen at Pellissippi State is one of the students is in class and one of their classmates comes in who might be troubled, and so the student begins to ask them, well, what's going on? And then they discover that they're being hurt or that they're being mentally beaten down by somebody. And so that's a way to share with them that they can go to the Family Justice Center, or there's people at Pellissippi State, the counselors are trained on where to go for resources.
Sexual assault is non-consensual sexual contact when force or coercion is involved in accomplishing the act. And force means that they might be using a weapon, such as a knife or a gun. Coercion means that they're harassing the person or intimidating them in some way to try to get them to do what they want. A rape is actually non-consensual sexual contact where penetration, no matter how slight, is involved. Basically, the definition of consent is to give permission, to agree to something, to say this is okay, to give approval. When there is sexual assault involved and there's not consent, that's a problem. People who are not able to give consent by the law are people who are mentally or physically incapacitated due to alcohol, drugs, maybe they're passed out, maybe they're mentally not able to understand what sex is. And so it's really important that people know when they're drinking or using drugs or anything like that, that person is not, if the other person is not real aware, that they're not giving their consent. So going home with someone is not consent. Dressing in a little short dress is not consent. None of these things say yes. It really have to have very clear communication around this and have discussions about what you're okay doing and what you're not okay doing. If you don't hear a clear yes, do not proceed. You want to know it's not your fault and seek counseling and attention, physical attention at the doctor. It's super important to get counseling. Even just calling if they're not ready to go right away. Victims will have, most likely have some aftermath, emotional sort of feelings afterwards where they're going to have depression, nightmares, PTSD sort of things, post-traumatic stress disorder, trouble sleeping, maybe just see the person on campus maybe and feel scared. So it's really important that they get counseling and assistance for themselves and know it's not their fault. If you have a friend come to you and say that they think that's happened to them or it has happened to them, it's really, really important that they get help. So helping that person feel safe, sitting with them, letting them talk, believing them is really, really important. Stalking is really, it's like when someone's just crossing someone's boundaries. They're just like pursuing them in a relentless way. That can happen between people who don't even know each other. You know, you have someone who's obsessed with someone they met at a party and now they're following them everywhere and texting them or calling them or finding them on social media or photographing them. And it's making the victim feel really, really uncomfortable. It can also happen in dating relationships, or somebody who's broken up and the one person doesn't want to let it go and they just keep texting them or calling them or pursuing them and showing up where they are, and just that person just feels like no place is safe, and it's very intimidating. So if that is happening, they really need to be sure to talk to someone on campus, an officer or a counselor, and they do have things in place at Pellissippi State to help with that.
My role at the institution is to ensure that we have an environment free from discrimination. We want to make sure that anyone that joins the Pellissippi State family, whether they're faculty, staff, and students, feel welcomed here and actually included. My role as the Equity and Compliance Officer, I oversee a variety of areas, and one of the areas that I oversee is sex discrimination. When we talk about sex discrimination, we're talking about a variety of things. It could be sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, dating violence, even stalking. And when situations like this happen, we want to make sure that anyone involved understands their options. And one of the options that you have is to talk with one of our counselors on campus. You can speak with them. The interactions that you have with the counselors are completely confidential. The information will not be shared. But if you want or choose to file a complaint, then we ask that you contact the Office of Equity and Compliance, or even talk with anyone and they will refer you to my office. And again, we can talk about options, share with you what can be done, but our goal is to make sure that you feel supported, you have what you need to get back to your job as being a student here on our campus.
Pellissippi State is a safe community, and we encourage you to be an active participant in our campus safety efforts. No matter which one of our campuses you call your educational home, we have services and resources available to you. If you notice behaviors that are of concern, or if you've been impacted by someone else's behavior, please let us know. We're here for you, and we want you to be successful.